Hello, it's Melinda from Scrapbooking and Craft again. Just coming on with another run in my series of playing with Daiso products. Actually, a couple of months back now, I picked up several sink mats and different things at Daiso in Australia for Geli Printing, and I'm slowly playing with a few of them. So these first ones are is a rubber textured circle slip mats. I've seen them in rectangles and big rolls before, but I haven't seen them cut into perfect circles, so I thought that'd be fun to play with. So everything at Daiso is $2.80, so it makes it really affordable. This is another one of these plastic tablecloths, lace tablecloths. I've had limited success with these because the last one, the holes are really small, but these ones have really big holes in them, so I'm hoping, and I love this pattern on the side. So I've cut off about a bit that hangs over the size of the 8x10 jelly plate. And the last thing I'm using is, this was another sink mat as well, so I thought, even though this one's quite thick, this will make great press-in texture. And it's got, on one side it's got little dots, so I'm hoping to push the smooth side in. So this is like 30 centimetres by a bit longer, probably 35 centimetres. So let's get started. Set my timer at 20 minutes, so this is not an overly huge long, whoops, should shake paint, hopefully that won't affect it. So just using some really cheap acrylic paints. I don't even know whether this one's got any left in it. Sorry if the camera shakes a bit, I've got my camera on the front of a trestle table. I think that paint's just about finished. Another paint bites the dust. So yeah, sorry, apologise if the camera shakes a little, it's just on the same trestle as my jelly plate. I used to do this in the kitchen, on the kitchen bench, and have the the camera on a kitchen table behind it, but I've moved to a different room, so we're all on the same trestle here. So just off camera, I'm just cleaning off my brayer onto some old worksheets from my daughter's books. So what are we going to press into this one? What I might do is have a go at this pink one. So I'm just going to press this in. Oh, I'm getting paint on my fingers. Okay, let's get a piece of scrap paper. I didn't envisage this one actually getting any paint through it, but I think if I push my fingers down, I might. Okay. So I'm just going to be printing on various types of paper. I've got some sandwich bags, I've got some, just getting my paints out the way so I can slide things across. I've got some sandwich bags, which would be really cool. Probably print on some brown paper, some equivalent of deli paper in Australia, or wax-proof paper for those Aussies that are watching. It's Woolworths brand wax paper. You buy in the roll for a couple of bucks. So this has got paint on it, so I'm just pressing down. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, now where am I going to pull these painty things? That's kind of cool. So that's actually come off the, and that's onto a lunch bag. I found a packet of lunch bags in my stash that I bought to make junk journals with and never got around to it. So, whoops, got paint on the back. That's kind of nice. Can you see? I don't know whether you can see. It's hard to see in the viewfinder if you can see that, but you can sort of see the impressions of the circles. Let's take a ghost print with some of this roll of deli, the best deli equivalent I can find in Australia. Has a smooth side and a rough side, shiny side and a non-shiny side. Make sure you print on the non-shiny side. Works a lot better. And then the shiny side sticks down really well to your projects. Whether you can see that. Looks really pretty. So that's kind of cool. Let's do, just got a few little tubes of paint here. Let's do a blue over the top. So these are Joe Sonia's like little sampler sets. I usually don't buy Joe Sonia's branded paints because they're a bit expensive what they are. But my local Spotlight a few years ago were clearing out these little sample tubes in packs of 12 or 8 for only a couple of bucks. So I picked them up and rediscovered them in my stash. Whoops! Rediscovered them in my stash a little while ago. This year's my actual year to get everything organised. I've got bits and pieces everywhere. I tend to buy things and then they get buried. So this year I'm getting very organised and putting all my paints together, putting all my different things together. Let's try this. Let's try this lace tablecloth. These have sort of a right and a wrong side. If you do purchase any of them, you'll know one side's more detailed. So you put the detailed side down and you'll get a bit more of a texture in into the print. Sorry about the ripping. Should have known from last time to rip paper off before I started. Trying not to create a lot of movement with the camera. I'm going to have to get a different setup. Maybe I'll put 2 trestle tables up in this room I'm working in at the moment. Just trying to get all of the detail. You can sort of tell with this deli paper, it's sort of, or the greaseproof paper in Australia, you can tell when it gets paint on it because it sort of goes a different colour. So I'm just trying to rub in these smaller areas with my finger. You can run over it with your brayer. Whoops, maybe not. That's still got paint on it. Okay, let's not do that because I've got nowhere to put double-sided prints. Ooh, that's pretty. That's nice. That's actually getting a better print than better print than my other ones because they're bigger holes between the flowers. Now, I'll just slide this over, take this off, okay, and just pressing a piece of the waxproof paper. I find the waxproof paper or the thin deli paper gets in these holes a bit better. You get better print than thicker paper. Oh, that's like a really nice textured lace. Isn't that pretty? Is that better? It's a very dark and gloomy day here in Australia at the moment. It's very cold and we've had like an Arctic blast, they've called it. So it's a very gloomy day outside, so I've got a light on, shining on my jelly plate. So let's just slide this jelly plate back in and take this print. Apologise if you hear my heater cutting in and out in the background. It is very cold over here at the moment. We're having an Arctic blast. We're even getting snow. Even though we're in winter in Australia, it never really gets this cold this early in June. Oh, we're nearly into July. Isn't that gorgeous? That is very pretty. And you can see, I can get it quite close without it going fuzzy. It's really hard for me to see if it's in focus. There we go. You can sort of see the detailing in the flowers. They'll be cool to cut out. Okay. What I might do is do some more dark blue and layer that over. Actually no, I might play with the next one, the little round ones. Still learning how to layer properly. I will get there eventually. So I'm nearly actually through. I believe I've got probably 1 or 2 more videos to do with these Daiso hauled items I've got, so I'll do those in the next few weeks. And then I'm going to, with my business, design some new stencils, and then I'll have a play with some of those. Okay, where did I put those orange things? Everything is getting buried on my desk. Don't you love it when you get playing away, you get papers piled on top of things and then you can't find a thing? Ah! Underneath a piece of paper. So I don't envisage these being getting a piece of paper on top and pulling some paint off like a stencil. Let's do it with this one because I don't think I want to do is just, yeah, no, they're too thick to get the paint off, but that's okay. I just want to take a bit of this paint around them off. Give them a good press down. That's kind of cool. What I might actually do is take this bit of paper, slide these over, and when I take these off, is actually stamp them in the holes. Sorry, I'll do this one on camera, a bit off camera at the moment. Problem is, if I zoom my camera out any more, I tend to lose a lot of the detail. So I try to have it zoomed in, but then I go off shot a lot. And I can't get my tripod high enough to... That's actually really cool. I can't get my tripod high enough to actually... Let's print over this first one that we had. Can't get my tripod high enough to do an overall shot at the moment. Because if I make my tripod higher, then I don't have the space under it because the legs go wider. Ooh, I like that. Isn't that pretty? It sort of makes a cross-hatching effect. That is really nice. It's my favourite for today, I think. Okay, let's clean up that jelly plate with some this wax paper. I apologise, I can hear someone lawn mowing in the background. Must be the one house that's close to me. Sorry if you can hear that. It's very faint, but okay, so you didn't pick up much there. That's okay, I really like that first print. Let's play with those again. Let's do some different colour, red. If we do a bit of red, this blue paint might pick up. Oh, this red's very thick. There's the one I'm trying to get these paints used up. I'm certainly getting a build-up of beautiful jelly prints. No, last time I had to add orange into this to thin it out a bit. Certainly getting a beautiful build-up of jelly prints that I'm slowly using. I used one last night with an art journal page. It might have to be squeezed out into a jar and mixed with some water. We'll see how this goes. Okay, get those out of here. Scrubbing off my grater. What are we going to do with this one? We are going to... I like the effect of these. Let's do these again. I want to see if I can remove most of the paint between them. Good press down. I don't have my little helper with me today. Alexis is not here today. I've stolen some time while she's not with me to get some of these done. She's on holidays very soon. The next week, so I'm sure she'll be doing lots of videos for you as well. We plan to go to the art gallery, which would be really cool. It's only a gold donation to our local art gallery. Sorry, just off camera, just stamping when I'm pulling these off and just stamping them into the circles. And I'll show you the print. That's really cool. So these work good as stamps. Some of the tools I picked up for the jelly plate I found work better as stamps as opposed to for making or they make good marks, mark making for journal pages, but not really good for the jelly plate. But for $3 or $2.80, it's good to give them a try. Oh, that's pretty. Now I wonder if I can do that in another colour, in the blue, and offset them again. Let's do that. This is what I have to practice, is my layering. Actually, there's still paint on there. We'll just use this one we did before, which we didn't get much of the blue off, and just layer that again. Sometimes I like these layered prints the better. Whoops. Only problem with this jelly paper is you've got to be fairly careful. We just added some red texture to that. When you pull it off, because sometimes it does stick. Okay, let's do a blue over the top here. wipe my brayer off onto so now we're going to take these, and what I want to do is I want to see if I can work out to excuse me, put this next layer where the first layer wasn't, if that makes any sense and if it works. We'll have to wait and see. So I've sort of guessed where these will print on the other print to overlap some and to let some overlap. So I'll actually bring, I'm just going around, pick up most of the outside paint, so we end up with some nice big circles missing. And I'll just take these circles and press down. And because of where they're sitting, sometimes you get a perfect print, sometimes you don't. But most of my collages or my Geli prints I use as just pieces as opposed to a full print, and this one's going to be a triangle. So that's kind of cool with the blue. Okay, now I'm going to, this is the one I wanted to print on, no it's not. This is the one I wanted to print on again. It's going to put blue on blue. So ideally, if I line it up again, the advantage of using the deli paper or the waxproof paper is you can sort of line up to where your edges are, which is kind of cool. Oh wow, that's really cool. Because this big one sort of overlaid with the other three. And then it's white underneath and then it's red. I like that. Okay, let's put this back over here. Probably have one more print, time for one more print. What if we did some, let's do some white over something. Let's do some white over something. Now I'm hoping this, because it's dosed on, it will be a nice opaque white. Some of the cheaper whites and some of the cheaper paints are quite transparent, which is good for some applications, but I don't know, that looks like a big coat. Let's get a lunch bag and wipe my brayer. Oh, and there's lunch bag on the floor, because then this will be a base for something else. Ooh, getting a bit of blue onto that. Okay, what do I want to do with this one? I want to bring that circle mat back in. Give it a good press down, because we used that once. What am I going to print over the top of? This is what I struggle with, is picking something to print over the top of, because I like the first print. Let's do it. No, let's do it over here. Let's do it over this one, because I need something semi-dark. I don't know what this is going to look like. Maybe not that one. Okay. Yeah, maybe not that one I just showed you. Maybe a lunch bag. And I'm just going to put, one's dry. The lunch bags don't quite fit on the Geli plate, so I'll just put this on and we'll just get a thin white border around here. That's okay. All adds to the effect. Oh, 2 lunch bags. Okay. Get one off. Uh-oh. And you've got to watch the lunch bags you pull from the enclosed end, not the open end, because they will tear. Oh, that's kind of got lots of interesting things, hasn't it? Look at all the texture and the bits of gunk. I suppose that's a way to clean up my Geli plate. And then we'll bring this in. This is the paint that was on there. So we'll see, I may have left this too dry. No. Oh, that's my alarm going off. I set an alarm for 20 minutes on my iPad so that I could just do a 20-25 minute video. Otherwise I have no idea. I get into Geli plating and my camera will only take about 45 minutes, and I know I've done a smaller video to start with. Yeah, bit of a fail. Oh, I can sort of see the texture, but I think I left that way too long before it dried. So my favourite prints from today are this one. This one. I love this lacy one. This will be good to experiment with some more. What else did I like from today? And I love this one too. This is awesome. So some few different things to think about for your jelly plating. Think outside the box. The kitchen aisle at Daiso is really cool. And even if they don't work out for jelly printing, and I really am liking this one too. This is the white one we do at the end, which it's picked up a whole lot of the other colours. And you can sort of see some of these circles from the second and third prints. This is one of the reasons I do not clean my jelly plate. I'm going to embarrass myself at the moment. And look, it's very, very cruddy. Even on the back it's got that. I don't clean my jelly plate at all. I probably should, but I don't. So thank you for watching another play with Daiso items for our jelly plate. I'm very enjoying doing this series, and you are enjoying watching it by all the views that I get. So thank you for everyone that's watching, and I'll catch up with you again. Bye for now.